So yesterday we got to go down to the Glenwood Wave and practice some playboating. What I love about playboating is being able to make sense out of chaos, and it really helps people learn to adapt to the environment that is pretty chaotic at times. So a little terminology to go along with the whole, with the feature. As you look at it, the green water coming in is called the tongue. The interface between the hole and the green water we call the seam. And then right now Maya is on top of the pile, and you can see the two shoulders feeding into the center of the hole. Sometimes we'll talk about those as we're going along here. So we're going to talk terminology here as far as different tricks that the kids are trying to do. So the first one, probably the most basic, is the 360, where you use the shoulders of the wave to spin your boat downstream. It takes a lot of sensitivity to what's happening to stay on top of that pile as you're spinning around. Oftentimes, 360s are used to set up bigger tricks, but sometimes, just like here, Maya is coming in. She does a really good job feeling the hole and then lines up for this loop, which is when she plugs her nose in. The next trick is called a cartwheel, which is like a spin or a 360, but elevated to some extent. Both of these guys are pretty good, doing some cartwheels there. The last trick that we're going to talk about is the loop, which is super fun because you get to store up all that buoyancy and shoot into the air. Here's Mana doing a loop, so it's just a front somersault or a front flip in the hole. And the idea is to do that and then stay in the wave as Luke does here, and then keep doing more and more. So what's great about the team is we have all different levels of skill this year. For example, Asher here just got his combat role last fall, and really this is some of the first times he's spent in the hole. As he develops, he's going to want to look more and more like Luke with some basic tendencies. One is we're always looking at the seam of the hole. You'll watch as he kind of spins around, he looks back over his shoulder to locate where he is in the hole. He keeps his elbows down in a safe position, and he keeps his body balanced over his boat. Now, obviously he's been doing this a while, but those tendencies of looking back in the hole and to make things happen and staying balanced is going to really serve him well in the future. Now, though not as exciting, the 360 is kind of the basis for all playboating moves and actually requires a lot of feel and sensitivity because you have to use the features on the side of the wave to pull you downstream, and it's a balance between getting too far out of the hole and then or being too close in on the hole and getting your stern sucked in. So as you can watch this time, Tristan kind of loses it and the stern gets sucked in and pulls him out. So it's a real delicate balancing act, but is a crucial skill. With cartwheeling, the key to it is to stay ahead of your rotation. So you'll notice that Kelly is looking into the hole and is leading with his shoulders. To initiate this rotation, the first thing you'll notice is Ben's boat is actually angled to the left, and then he swings it into the current. His weight is on his right butt cheek, and he's doing a reverse sweep on his right. At this point, he should look over his shoulder, back at the hole, and do a forward sweep to pull his stern under. He was a little behind on his rotation, and that is why he kind of flopped on his head in that instance. Here's Maya coming in off the shoulder to try and initiate a cartwheel, but she has a little too much angle towards the left and then ends up flopping. The loop has a few distinct phases. One is the setup, where you try and keep your stern really dry. Two is the plug, where you try and get as deep in the water and keep that stern dry. Next is the jump, where you get up and out of the water as much as possible, ideally looking upstream. Then you huck the boat to get it to tumble over, and then you reach for a stroke that pushes your feet back upstream. Bowden does a really nice job of keeping it nice and straight. In this next clip, you can see Luke does all those phases. The plug, the jump, the huck, and the big stroke to finish it out real nice. In this clip, Kelly is starting way up the pile to keep his stern dry. He initiates very deep and jumps straight up in the air, coming through on a really nice loop. In this clip, Maya uses her great feel of the hole to spin 360 into her initiation. This allows her to keep her stern dry, and she has great timing. She just needs to look upstream and jump more vertically. If you watch this clip, you can see Fisher really has his eye on the seam of the hole, does a great job guiding his bow in, and then he lifts his paddle right at the last second, and his boat falls off axis. You can see Mana does a good job being on top of the pile, and then he just misses his plug a little bit. In this next clip, Ben does a great job looking upstream. You can really see him looking, but he doesn't push his feet back upstream with his stroke. So the rest of this is just random outtakes that I had of people. I'm bummed that I don't have everyone in here, but not everyone wanted to try this feature. Anyway, I hope this is helpful for you guys understanding what your kids are doing, and I hope it's helpful for the students to kind of see themselves and see their friends and know what's going on. Thanks a lot. Bye. Whoop. Go, go, go!